The single run mode allows the use of TKW directly through a GUI rather than through the command line. The functionality of TKW is described as in a Guide to the Toolkit Workbench document. The transport, domain and directory locations define the parameters of the ITK interactions. Again, web services is the only transport available. Under the domain, we have domains you'll recognise, and then there are various directories for particular properties and messaging folders. TKW Simulator acts as a programmable endpoint for ITK messaging, responding to requests based upon a rule set defined within a properties file. The listen IP address is the address on which the simulator will listen, with its associated port. The log file name panel reports any messages received by the simulator. This is a view of the simulator saved messages folder. New unread message logs appear in bold, and message logs can be dragged and dropped out of the panel. All drag and drop operations are copy operations of the log files. The request message panel will show a pretty printed version of all well-formed XML from the log files. To demonstrate, we'll choose ADT. First, we need to start the simulator, which opens out a separate standard output window. Then we can use another instance of TKW to transmit two messages: a cancel transfer patient and a transfer patient update master. They've been sent. Come back here. We can see there are two log files, one each for each of the messages which have been transmitted into the simulator. And underneath, we have a pretty printed version of the incoming message. If we transmit them again, we'll see that all new messages appear in bold. At the bottom of the panel, we can validate the incoming requests. And we can see a hyperlink to the report. There is also the clear folder button, which will clear the directory of all of those messages. To the single run transmitter tab, we still have the transport, domain, properties and message folders described above. We also have three URLs: the send to URL for synchronous messaging, the reply to and fault to for asynchronous messaging. We have the source file name panel. This lists messages to be sent to an endpoint. We have the log file, which reports any response messages received by the transmitter, and the response message panel, which is a pretty printed version of what's in the log file. In order to demonstrate this, I'll first open up and start a simulator, TKW simulator session, quite separate from the Autotest Manager. Then I will take two messages and I can drag and drop these into the source file name panel. change the URL to which it's going to be sent, and run the transmitter. It's now run to completion. There are 2 log files there. The first one we can see pretty printed underneath with the response message. It's a 200 OK, a simple response. Again, we can validate these responses, and we can see a log file appears with the hyperlink, and the file that was highlighted is validated. Again, this folder can be cleared, but as you'll see, the source files still remain. The TKW Autotest guide is in the directory under TKW Autotest Manager.